Perfect. So I leave you the pointer and the. Oh, so you already have
I
the microphone. So perfect. I leave you the stage.
Perfect. So, as I was introduced nicely, I'm Shaban Shame, founder of EVERDREAMSOFT. And today, I don't want to go too technical, but I want to do a bit of storytelling, giving you the story of the genesis of Web3 gaming. I think the pointer is not moving.
You can try in this direction. Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's slipping.
Okay, so EVERDREAMSOFT, we started as a game company in 2010. And I want to tell you the tale through the eye of one of our player called Mike. So Mike played Munga. He was a fan, a game that we launched in 2010 on mobile, a trading card game. Like many others, at that time, there was not many trading card games on mobile, and Munga was definitely one of the early of them. And as we moved and progressed, Mike could exchange cards with other players inside the game, but there was a lot of offers of people who wanted to exchange for real money under the table, and going through in-game transaction, but actually exchanging real money under the table. That was problematic because so many times Mike was scammed. Maybe not him, but some friends of the community. There was a lot of different fraud. The team was overwhelmed with support requests. Oh, my account was hacked. Can you reverse this transaction? Actually, they wanted us to reverse transaction, but money already went under the table. So that was a big problem. But Mike really enjoyed playing, enjoyed exchanging cards. And some of the digital cards were exchanging for $100 to $200, which was a big number for a mobile game at that time. At some point, we told Mike and the community, instead of banning accounts for real money trading, we are going to use blockchain technology to store your game asset. I was crazy. Mike was blocked. What? 2014, when we announced that, people hardly understood what Bitcoin is. So when you were telling blockchain, it was even more completely crazy. So we told Mike, we're using Bitcoin technology to secure your asset. This way, you can have true ownership of digital asset, of digital card. 2014, Ethereum was not launched, mainnet was not there, so it was a layer on top of Bitcoin. So Mike was, okay, what is this new thing that I need to do now? That's super complicated. Okay, I need to do a wallet. Okay. At that time, acquiring Bitcoin was super complicated. You had to go through different difficulties. But he was, as he was a core member, he really made the effort. He created his own wallet and started to get card hardly, but he started to get card. Most of the community, the regular player, did not understand the value proposition of having true ownership, of storing the asset not on a database, but on a wallet. So then they are free to trade, just like when you go to a physical store. For me, at the time, the storytelling was had a lot of sense, but for most of the people, not. So we presented to Mike a new game, a new trading card game, and this time we said, okay, do you know that potentially assets may survive longer than the product itself? So we told Mike, we are going to put the narrative of the crypto allegorically inside the game itself. So Satoshi card was created. Dogecoin card was created in 2015. It was very niche. Nobody knew about Dogecoin, but it was a fun community at that time. A little bit less toxic than it is right now. Ethereum character, when Ethereum went live, there was a Spells of Genesis card. And the guys like Mike could discover what is this universe by getting the newest card and the new collectibles. Still, blockchain, what is this whole craziness? A lot of people said Bitcoin is used for to buying drug online, but actually you could use them for a game as well. So the card were on Counterparty, which is a token layer on top of Bitcoin, allowing to do card. And most of the wallets, most of everything, all infrastructure, was designed to create currencies, like little currencies, sub-currencies on top of Bitcoin. But Spells of Genesis said, okay, instead of creating currency, we're going to put a game asset. And that was completely new and unheard. And we can say it was the beginning of crypto collectible and the movement. There were cards representing events, but also interesting happenings in the community. For example, the FD card, this illustration, is the actually first card of Spells of Genesis. It could be considered at first kind of NFT collectible of a collection released in 2015. And we distributed it to people who do folding. So folding coin was a currency distributed to people who put their computing power to the folding coin project. And folding coin project is to finding cure for cancer, calculating molecules, and a program from Stanford University. And they added a layer when you use your hash power to the computing, you also receive folding currency. And then we said, okay, we're going to give this to people who participate to that project. And that was the first card. Different things that Mike discovered. What is a Genesis block? We kind of put the Genesis block in the universe of the game, as well as events like the separation between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. There was a separation between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, and many more. So Mike couldn't really believe the story that these cards will be in museum in 50 years. We want them to survive after the game, because when people will look back and say how this cryptocurrency started, this will allow to illustrate how all this started. Different events, different cards, collectibles. So they have an existence within the game, but also outside the game as a collectible. Then, you know the story. Some other collection started the same way. First, there was Rare Pepe on Counterparty, which got a lot of traction for user-generated, I would say community-created meme. Then came the Ethereum and CryptoPunk, etc. So Mike was there, and he played for the game for a while, and at some point, he moved out to some other game, like every player. And in 2021, suddenly, he received message from people online. They actually tracked the wallets, and they find out who was there through airdrops and different thing. And he completely forgot about it. And the guy said, I'm buying your wallet for $2,000. And he came and said, yeah, but why? Why so much money? And his wallet containing $100,000 value of cards because of the NFT boom. People rediscovered the punk and they rediscovered Counterparty, and the cards became super valuable. As a collection, Satoshi cards, especially when 6 figures, FD cards is still selling for 6 figure. So the value that Mike was told, that you are not only getting cards for the game, but you're getting also for the posterity. When you are engaging with this, and actually all the product should be like that, when you finish using playing your game, you should have a trail. You should still keep something. It is true for physical objects. For example, physical trading card game, if you used to play some when you were young, you might still have them somewhere in your drawer. Maybe you don't use them, but you have them as a token, something to remember. You have an emotional attachment to that. So Spells of Genesis continued and still continues. High quality mobile game, I would say, compared to many of Web3 nation game with super great ratings. So it's a mix between strategy and arcade game. We wanted a game that is simple to play, but still have strategy as you progress through the game. The experience, the world, we extending it to different metaverses. For example, the Sandbox or Crypto Voxel. We represent the same character in different setup. Here it's our iconic Satoshi represented on different experience. The challenge, I think it's a huge topic, is interoperability. So when you have an asset like the Satoshi card, the initial Satoshi card that you see on screen, how do you get this other in 3D model that will work in Voxel? But also on Sandbox, it's a different technology. Even though you modelize in 3D, you cannot just take this model and put it in another metaverse or another experience. This requires work. Somebody needs to do the work. So we dream of a universal file system where you could use in different experience. The reality is, even though it is possible, there are still challenges because the number of pixels change from one experience to another. You need to adapt the style as well to the universe. So you cannot have a one-size-fits-all. The key, in my opinion, for interoperability is giving the power to the community to work and modify and use the property to enhance it, intellectual property to enhance it. Either the company, like we did, does all metaverses, all experience, or you rely on user contributions. So for this, I identified several problems that needs to be addressed, and that's the challenge that are coming. First of all, we call timeless orbs. So where you store the data. So when you create an NFT, what do you own really? And the underlying assets could be an image, for example, a music. Where do you store it? Because if you store it on a centralized server, it might disappear. If somebody stops paying the server, it disappears. We can use IPFS, but IPFS has also its flaw. The problem with IPFS is that somebody needs to still be incentivized to keep the file. If nobody is incentivized, the asset might disappear. So if you want to buy something that has value long term, need to find solution to keep the data the longest as possible. There's multiple ways to address this problematic. I think that's a big challenge. I reviewed some collection and put a rating on immutability, longevity of assets. I won't detail here, but I think that's really today a challenge to have a good sanity of keeping data long term. Another very important point is clarify what you are allowed to do with the asset or not. Very few people does it. Do I have a license to use? A license to use in one game, in many games? May I burn the token and move it to another chain? Does it keep its property as ownership of the asset itself? There is a lot of things to clarify. And also to protect the brand, to protect the character. So if I want to sell a Satoshi card to the community and say, hey, you can use it on any metaverse experience, what are the limitations? I need to clarify that. I need to say, okay, this is a genuine derivative, or this is not a genuine derivative. So one thing we do, the first thing we do is we just started a curated collection of timeless orbs, like high-quality NFT, new cards that we put new cards from Spells of Genesis, same, following the story of the blockchain today, that you receive every month, but as well as other interesting collection or collectible within Chain Chronicle. And you may see my t-shirts, like the big thing that we are building today is protecting people from scam, fraud, and theft, because now there is so much energy put into trying to scam people, attacking people. If you could take this energy and put them into scam busting or finding wrong ways, rewarding people to do it, you would create a world where it's more profitable to be honest. And that's what we are building with Wakweli. It's a chain that we apply for a parachain on Polkadot that has a consensus system that help fight scam and fraud. And why do we do that? Because a lot of our users were tried to be scammed. When the Satoshi card came out and got valuable, a lot of fake ones came. So they are stealing the property of the character. They try to steal the money of the buyer. So we need together to find a solution to fight against scam. I won't go too much into detail of Wakweli. It's super exciting. I really invite you to join the talk we have on Polkadot stage tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about this part. So invite you to follow me on the different social. Here is my contact detail, and I'm happily taking questions if there are any, and if we have still enough time.
Yeah, you have still 5 minutes if you want to take any questions. Any questions in the public? No, I don't think so.